Listen, game companies are once again pissing me the fuck off because apparently we can have nice things or good products. And it is insane that when a good game comes out, it's such a miracle that it even works and doesn't force you to shell out money for companies with $1 billion. Have you ever seen $1 billion? I didn't think so. I barely see $10. But as I replayed the Arkham games, it made me remember the Wonder Woman game that was canceled, what, just over a year ago? It really is like these companies are allergic to money. Actually, they aren't. Clearly, they aren't. Let me rephrase. All right, they're clearly allergic to money that is spawned from good ideas. We just aren't worth their time. So why am I talking about this now? It was canceled just over a year ago because I refuse to let WB forget it. I have been a WB DC fan for ever now. All my favorite properties are in it and owned by WB in some way. One of their studios, Monolith, the ones working on it, was going to put the Nemesis system into Wonder Woman. And I always thought that was a great idea. I've always thought that Batman with a Nemesis system, pretty much a gold mine for content. And apparently they were supposed to turn it into a different kind of Nemesis system, but instead turn enemies into allies, which is cool. I personally would have liked if it just stayed the normal Nemesis system, but at least they were trying something new. And honestly, I just want to remember the Wonder Woman game because to me, I would have at least liked to see the time of day. It's very hard to bring a game into fruition. And that's why I would never, ever bash developers for games like Suicide Squad or Gotham Knights. The reason being is because they're just going in, they're clocking in, they're doing the work that is forced down upon them. Whether they like it or not, they need a job, just like everyone else. So that's why I would never, ever bash anybody that was working on Suicide Squad or Gotham Knights, or hell, even Concord. Some are forced, like Arcane Austin with Redfall that got shut down. The amazing team that brought you games like Dishonored. They were forced to do something live service, and even developers come out from that team and go like, hey, we were forced. We hated it. We hated doing it, but what are you going to do? Always blame the execs, which is what I'm doing. Because WB not only let Wonder Woman take up $100 million before being shifted game design wise because a different director was put onto the team, they actually lost a shit ton of their core foundations of people that made games like Shadow of Mordor. And Shadow of Mordor is a game that still to this day has yet to be kind of topped in terms of some gaming mechanics. I mean, for one reason, it's because the Nemesis system is patented until I think 2036. So, and honestly, I love Wonder Woman. I know there was talks that this game could have been some live service shit and then they pivoted or something kind of like kind of like a Gotham Knights type of situation. I just love Wonder Woman. Batman will always be my favorite hero. Second will always be Spider-Man. But just in terms of DC, it's Batman or the Wonder Woman. Can't tell you exactly why. It might be because, it's Princess Diana. And you know what? I've been reading through Absolute Wonder Woman. And now WB is owned by Paramount. You thought it sucked before when Netflix didn't even consider WB games to even be a factor. Put the value in it pretty much in the shitter. What do you think Paramount's going to do with it? And honestly, with Rocksteady's new game that's supposed to be coming out, like 2027 is said to be like the year. Things are gonna get announced. We're probably gonna get a look at Hogwarts Legacy 2. We're probably gonna get a look at whatever Rocksteady's cooking. But after Suicide Squad, honestly, I want them the hell away from the kitchen. Just stop, because it's like going to a restaurant for so many years as a kid, and they make such delicious food. And then you randomly go back after after a good like 10 years, and then it gives you food poisoning. And about this whole changing the Nemesis system, there are people in the industry that has come out and said that say the changes actually were actually pretty cool. But like, imagine you're a developer and you put your time and energy into a game, and then it doesn't get to come out, so all of that is wasted and you're fired. Not to mention all like the best people from Monolith that worked on Shadow of Mordor and War 2, even though War wasn't great when it came out. War never changes, and neither does corporate greed. But they went off to work with EA and, started working on the Black Panther game. It's just a shame that it'll never be a thing where we can have it. And in the Nemesis system, like, I know it's talked about too much, where it's like, oh, the things that we could have been, that we could have had. But WB is literally sitting on something that can change gaming forever. Just other ways that we can incorporate that system into other works. I don't like game patents. Hardware wise, I understand it because that's your proprietary stuff. Like, I get that. Like, how the DualSense works. I get how that can be patented by Sony. But when it comes to game mechanics, all we should do is make something cool and then let other people use it and experiment. Not to mention that gaming patents has been off the hook since forever. Like, can you imagine if GTA 5 came out today and then they were like, hey, we patent the ability to switch characters? Like, what? Yeah, you can't switch characters, and you can't have, and there especially can't be 3 choices. I think it's supposed to, the Nemesis system is supposed to expire in 2036. I think that's the year. The blessing in disguise is that it could have came out and been terrible and cost even more to WB, which might have made them a little bit more gung-ho about shutting studios down. But honestly, you let and had Rocksteady make Suicide Squad, and now they're still around, and that's way worse than whatever fucking game the Monolith made. Now look, Shadow of War, when it came out in like 2017-ish, or whatever that was, I remember playing it at 16 when that released, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Because you couldn't beat the game without paying. Like, that's how much grindy stuff was in it. You had to pay just to beat the game because of how long it took just to grind it. Look, there's a universe where it comes out and it's great, but all we're left now is speculation and people who are willing to give their tidbits if they worked on it. And it's genuinely fucking sad that companies like WB, like Sony, they just closed Bluepoint because fuck them, I guess. Microsoft just literally put somebody in charge that was their head of their AI division that doesn't even play games. She started playing games in January and letting Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond go home without pay. And, even though I have my issues with Phil Spencer, at least he played some fucking games, wasn't head of AI. So Microsoft can, suck my micro schlong. I would love some insight in how Wonder Woman was as a game fundamentally, and hopefully one day we'll get a lot more information, because it seems like we keep getting information about the Batman game that had the Nemesis system, the canceled Dark Knight game that was supposed to release. Hopefully we'll get some more information eventually, some actual good gameplay instead of concept art that's leaked. Anyway, I'm going to go take a hot shower